So as we continue to work on that rig and building up for what we call an animation test, the words animation test, that's just testing to see if the rig functions. We're not actually making an animation per se. We're testing the rig so that it can be handed over to animators in the future, and we're not really doing that. We are going to run an animation test on several of the poses. The 3 poses that you have made in your ideation will be animated, but it's not like a feature-length animation. It's really just what we call a test in the industry to see if the file is functioning. And so that would be very common in the beginning for character designers to do that. Today, I've asked you to try to have most of your rig assets complete and in symbols, and I'll check those with you today. And then we have until the rest of the semester to get both the animation test file. Let's see. So let's show you what's coming up for you. You're going to be making an animation test file, which includes the assets. There isn't any sound with this, and actually Corbett has, I think, 4. So all of the assets moving in the sequence of the stories that you've built up: hit, death, shooting. He's got jazz hands, cannon. So some of you have been building them kind of all over your page. I want to talk about that. So concepts. You've been building your characters over top of your image, which is okay, but at a certain point you need to bring these symbols back into the over top of each other so that they can animate in a sequence. And as I've been looking at your files so far, that's what I've been seeing. So just as a word of caution today, that's one of the things that we're going to try to accomplish, is to bring all of the symbols on top of each other so that they're a functioning rig. And we'll look at that today. I have some examples today that will help us to see how to actually functionally do that. So we'll just take a look at some of the previous works. Danielle Cowles. So we will want the character to be in one position doing these test animations, and with pauses in between them and titles of the poses on the animation file. So you can see there's the character name, the artist name, the name of the whatever action that they're doing is on the file. There's a file that I want you to download today. It is this file here, get the Lizzy assembly file to explore. And I can put it in the chat for those of you that are with us right now. So it's in the chat right now, if it's easier for you to grab it that way. That's just the assembly file, and then we're going to just kind of run some tests in terms of how to create columns to set up an animation rig. So that's going to be one of our goals in terms of demoing today. How are your files coming along, everybody?
I think okay.
It's quiet morning on a Monday, right? So for example, Kyle Smith has these kind of separated here. This is to show what they look like. The idea is to bring them and put them over top of each other. And that's one of our goals today as we get ready for our animation test. So please download that file that I just gave you. And we're going to do a little demo today for the rig. Did you all grab that file?
Yep.
Here comes Michaela. Okay, so I'm gonna switch my screen. I'll wait for Michaela. Are you here now? Michaela, I'm going to put in the chat for you the file that we're going to grab for a demo today. And the demo file is in the animation test on this link here if you're on the site. So get the Lizzy assembly file to explore, and I've placed it in the chat. So have you all opened that file up? Is that working for you? Did I give you the right link?
Yep.
Okay, let me share my Animate screen. All right, so this is a Lizzy file that doesn't have all of the assets animating. It's really just the assembly. So if I go over to the library, and I would like for you to also open up this file at the same time, but I'm gonna demo it for a little bit first. So this is Lizzy. If I scrub the timeline, the only animation sequence will be the mixer, which is a part of the animation build. It's a part of the rig to have it animate in that way. So there it is. Michaela, have you grabbed that file yet and opened it?
I'm working on it. My computer decided it needed to restart this morning, so it's still
Oh,
trying to
okay.
boot up.
All right. Well, I am recording this for anybody that wants to see this later. We are going to run a demo, and I'm going to have you do this while you're in class just to see how it functions. While you are all opening that, I'm going to show you a couple of other student files from previous semesters so that you can see we can kind of troubleshoot through some of the issues that they had. And I was kind of expecting for you to have some of these same issues. So let me jump into them. We'll start with Mackenzie Tucker. This is the cactus character that she made. And basically, I think that a lot of you are working in the same way, which is fine. I just want to kind of let you know what's coming up ahead. Let's see. Okay, so if I turn off all of, well, let's see, I'll just turn on the sketch. The sketch is going to be underneath here. There it is. This was her sketch, and she developed the characters over top of them. And I know that some of you are also doing that. Like I said, we'll have to eventually put them all on top of each other, and that should be a goal. I had somebody else enter, but I don't see them. There they are, Susie. Welcome, Susie. There's a link in the chat of the file that we're gonna, I want you to download and be ready to work on for our demo. So we're in Mackenzie Tucker's file, and this should feel kind of familiar to you because I know that some of you, just some of you, are actually working in this process where you have the character in different places on the timeline. So, or not on the timeline, but just on the stage. And the key to what we need to do is really be able to put them like this Lizzy file all on the same place. So if I go into the Lizzy file, this is her assembly is what we've called it. This is how you can pass back and forth a character. Is to have your character all in an assembly. Yours doesn't have to be like that. You can have just your different potentially assemblies for hair or face and things like that. Not every character will need to have assembly assets. It's just that something like this spinning barrel needs to have an assembly since it's a spinner. So you can see in my library, I've got all the assets already built in as symbols. If you haven't done that yet, you'll click on your asset and modify, convert to symbol. The other way to do it is to cut it and then insert new symbol. Any questions about symbol making yet? That should feel familiar to you from doing animation processes. Okay, so I'm going to take you through a couple more examples of students' works that are coming from different, from the previous semesters. Oops. Oh, goodness. So this is Austin Whitbeck's, and this is a candle, and this is actually his animation sequence. You can see his flaming head. That would be in an assembly. And then he does these melt downs. And here you can see that he's actually moved the character again. This is what I want everybody to have the character in the same space. So I'd like you to adjust a little bit from what he's done there. And there's the, he's kneeling down and being blown back. And then the frightening, and this is gonna, I think, be the attack. Or no, this one doesn't attack. Here's Darian Papanow's, and the way that she built hers is there's a symbol factory, she called it. And so this is really built for the last part of our assignment. I believe that this file is actually, in terms of the types of assignment that we have, the very last assignment where you line things up. So this is after the fact, if we were to explore that. This is the Oscar puppet. That you may have been familiar with this from Bill Fisher's demos. This puppet is organized in the way that we want it to be organized, and that everything is lined up on the main timeline. And this is a less complicated character than Lizzy is. And it runs through animating the sequence. So basically what I want you to see from this file and from some of the previous files is that we create columns in Animate in order to kind of block the animation. So before you even run any sort of tweens, which you can make a whole animation without running tweens too and just doing frame to frame, you would make columns of the squashing and the stretching. And so these would be new keyframes of those action sets. So if I scrub it, we see that action set. But if we just go to the keyframes, then you start to see what the plan is in terms of the way someone's thinking before they start running all the tweens. So with Lizzy, this is set up to be just standard. And so do you all have this file now?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna do a little work on it, and then I want you to explore it. I don't want you to explore it for too long, maybe about 15 minutes or so, just to see what it's like to animate a sequence for the character. And by looking at this and exploring how it's been made, it might help you to be able to understand what to do for yours. So I'm going to just go down the timeline a little bit and make a new column. Let me pull this up so that I can get more of the timeline in there. So I want to be able to see as much timeline as possible, which means I often have the character part be a little bit smaller. So I'm holding down Alt or Option to make the character smaller there. I'm going to make a little bit bigger here. Okay, so I'm going to give her some attitude adjustment. The first thing I'm going to do before I do that is shift click through all of the timeline. I have everything opened up, and you can either go up to Insert, keyframe, you can do it that way, or on your pen, if you have a pen, you can right click or your mouse, insert keyframe, right click on your mouse, or the top click on your pen will usually be set up to do that. So now I've given her new places and time in which I can make the animation function. So I'm going to click off. I'm going to hit V to get my move tool, which means I can just select on and off. And the first thing that I'm going to do, which I think is kind of fun, is just go into the mouth. And if you go to properties and into frame picker, you can choose a different mouth set. So we went from the ooh, and maybe I'll go to the joy. And then the next thing I want to do is click into the eyes and kind of make her look in a different direction. So let's go into the eyes, keep on clicking, and then have her look into a different direction. Sometimes with Lizzy, you have to kind of find it, and it's okay if she's a little cross-eyed because she's a little bit dizzy all the time. So that's kind of the key to functioning this stuff. If you need to move them down the timeline, first of all, does anybody have any questions about the way that frame picker works? If you don't have it, you need to go to Window and choose Frame Picker. The next thing that I might do is go down the timeline a little bit more and shift click through and have her do a jump. So I'm gonna control click or right click, insert a keyframe here, and just take and move the whole character up. Okay, so we're making her do a little jump. So because everything's on the main timeline, I can grab everything and move it up. And that's the way it kind of functions. But in order to actually have it work, her wheels are a little bit heavier is the way that her idea is. So I'm going to pull these down. Maybe we'll pull one wheel down a little bit more just to make it a little bit fun. And when she jumps up, the barrel will also jump up a little bit higher. And this, the pipe is another asset. So we're gonna pull that up. So now we're starting to really get her to do some fun stuff. And I would then grab the eyes and maybe make her look up, but maybe to the other side. Keep on clicking frame picker. And maybe I'll also spin this. I'm not able to click on this piece because I need to click into it. Let's see, where's your pipe, Lizzy? Pipe, 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 hooked pipe. No, that's this up here is the hooked pipe. Here's her pipe, it's locked. So I'm gonna now grab it and hit Q, which is the rotation point. There is a rotation point there, which if that's where it's supposed to be, I'll just keep it and run that sequence. Okay, so that is animating, and I'm not even doing any tweens to make it do that. The next stage is to run tweens from, especially the wheels, we would run the tweens. So I would shift click through these and control click that and create a classic tween. So we'll see what that looks like when we animate that. I'll zoom out a little bit so that we can see it. Click off, hitting V. So it happened too fast. So I'm gonna have to adjust that. it's because the bed and all of these assets, we need to keep the eyes without doing it, but we can add tweens to here. So create a classic tween. Whoa, starting to really freak out. I'm gonna have to fix and function that. I'm gonna Control Z all of that stuff. And I'll have to revisit my rig a bit. But what I'd like for you to do today, right now, is to run like 5 different columns for Lizzy without any tweens. Run the columns so that she does something, either a jump or a whatever you want to have her do with a little character sentence. Okay, use emotion because Lizzy has a lot of emotion when she acts. She gets angry or scared. When she's up in the air, she might be scared. So, okay, so you have that file. I want you to make keyframes down the timeline. Any questions for you all? You guys are kind of quiet right now, huh? Of animating.
Currently I'm just getting everything into symbols right now. So
Oh, did I stop your share? I'm sorry. Go, please reshare, Nick.
Oh, okay.
I think I stopped it.
Do you see now?
Share content is fit on your screen. I don't know if I got rid of it somewhere. Maybe it's on this other display. Do you see it, Kaylin and Maggie?
Yeah, we do.
Interesting. Oh, there it is. I see it. I have so many like windows up that it, okay. So Nick, why don't you take us through how the rig is coming along and how you've set up your file so far.
Okay.
I see in your library you have.
Yeah, so right now they're on different frames. I need to combine them all onto one layer because if you scroll, it goes like, you can kind of see here. I'll zoom in on the face. So one of their eyes, and then the mouth is different, and the eyebrows and the falling leaves, and then the eyebrow, eye, and mouth change again. So I just need to combine those all, I think.
So the eye, isn't it on the same line up here somewhere, the layer? Where,
yeah,
take us to your layer for your eyes.
Okay, they're all in the same, yeah.
Oh, good.
Layer,
okay.
They're just not all in the same frame.
What do you mean they're not all in the same frame?
Don't they all have to be inside one another on the same frame?
No, this is correct, okay. What you have here. So for example, go to Lizzy and click on an eye and double click into it. Now that's the symbol. So that looks very much like what you have.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so what is different about yours, let's go back to your file and go to your eye again.
Wrong way. Ah.
Right there. Let me clear these. So let me ask about this. You have eye and hurt eye. Go to your key. Go to your library. Click on hurt eye for me, please. Okay, and click on eye. Right. And you have eyebrow.
Yep.
And if you scrub, we go from eye to hurt eye. Hurt eye is somewhere in here. Is that right? Okay.
Yep, right here.
So double click on hurt eye in the library. Double click on it. We're gonna well, not on that picture, but there. And we just want to not have that be a symbol like that. So go back to the scene and find hurt eye in the timeline.
Okay. This one here.
Okay, hit Command or Control B. Are you on a PC or a Mac?
Mac.
Okay, Command B. We just broke it apart. Now go to your timeline and delete or trash the hurt eye.
Okay.
Okay, and I think that you also have one that's like a swirl. We'll want to do that
Yeah,
too.
that's that one. The swirl.
It doesn't. Okay, it is. So click on it and hit Command B. Good. Okay, now scrub this timeline. That's where all your eyes are. Good.
Mhm.
And they're actually just right here, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would like for you to shift click through those keyframes all the way to the end of it, right? There's another eye, or does it just go back? Yeah.
It just is the first die that was there.
So now cut keyframe. So not just cut, but control click and then cut to the cut frames. Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. And don't worry that they disappeared here. Go to modify, insert, or insert new symbol, F8, and call it, you really aren't using your character name. You should probably do that. He's got a name, right?
Yeah.
Sloth Eye or something. Keep it a graphic symbol, say okay.
Okay.
And paste keyframes, paste frames.
Oh, sorry.
So not just Command V, but paste frames. Good. Now there they are, and you can scrub your timeline. That is your eye symbol. Now go back to your scene and take Sloth Eye and drag it into where you want it. And that's okay that you have it here. We should probably call this Sloth Eyes, though. You want it to be the same title.
Here, I'll change that. Sloth eyes. And then just
Drag it here into
Sure.
into the picture. Yep. Okay, and put it in the right location. Okay.
There we go.
And yeah, and scrub your timeline now. Okay, so it's doing it, and you can actually ultimately like get rid of that keyframe set. That's just remembering the frame picker. Actually, just why don't you clear those keyframes? Actually, it's scrubbing it. Yeah, clear that keyframe.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now let me grab my drawing again. Make a new keyframe here. And go to properties. And insert keyframe. And it looks like you don't have your frame picker up. So go to window and choose frame picker. And you can put it there or wherever you want. In order to make it drop onto it, you have to pick it by the folder part.
Oh, I see.
It's being.
Oh.
Sure. Okay, that's
Well,
fine.
that works for now.
Yeah, and then just pick one.
Okay.
And then go down. You actually can just go down the timeline and pick another one. And you have to F6 it. And then click on the eye and then pick another one. And that's the way it functions. That's a rig.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's the way that Lizzy's set up too.
Okay, so I'll just need to go back in and do that for the other.
So you probably have the tree probably does that.
Yep, it has these leaves that fall, and then the eyebrows and mouth, and then everything else doesn't have
And if an arm needs to do like a squash and stretch, so that you would actually stretch the arm if it's going to reach for something, that's something that you do after the rig is made. You don't have to do it with its own frame for it.
Okay. Yeah, so then I'll just need to make, I think, another frame for the flag to make it look like it's waving, like a stretch and squash, and then also for these like vines, so that it looks like they're
Mhm.
coming out of the ground more.
Yep, and with the flag, that would be with an envelope
Mhm.
working. Mhm.
Yep.
Or even just a redrawing because you have it's just one color anyway, so.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, looks like you're starting to get it well developed. Click into your library one more time for me. Mhm. So the mouth, so you have angry mouth and sad mouth.
Yep.
If you
I'll just
click in, well, that's okay. Click into the Lizzy demo and click on mouth. See, I do have like pout and ooh and all, like they're in there.
Oh yeah.
But there's a Ms. Lizzy mouth all is probably, this is probably the main symbol. Click on that and then double click on it. And no, that's the AI. So
Oh, here it is.
this, yeah, that mouse all. So if you double click on that,
Oh yeah.
that's where everything lives. And so you should have something like that
Okay.
for your mouse. Okay.
Okay.
So cool. So let's see. Did you mess with the Lizzy Rig? Were you able to?
Not a ton. I was more
Mhm.
going into everything to try and see how you set it up.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, just because I am gonna try and like emulate that more.
Hmm.
But yeah, I didn't really do much with it yet. I was more so just looking at all your layers and stuff.
Yep. Okay. So I would like you to make some columns along the main timeline to see if you can make that function. Looks like you did though, right? Can you scrub it? Oh, you just made columns.
I think so. Yeah, I think I just
Okay.
made. Yeah, I just made them, and I was
Mhm.
gonna animate them.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. You just click into it and then choose another asset. So,
Mhm.
yeah, okay, cool stuff. All right, thank you, Nick. Looks like you're
Yep.
well on your way.
I guess not a ton of the assets done. I'm still mostly working. Oh, don't know why that's highlighted. Mostly working on her first.
Look at that, nice. Yeah, and you actually have it all in one place, which
Yeah.
is good instead of, because it takes a while to move things back from the drawing.
Yeah.
So good planning.
So I still have to do like the final movement for her cape, so it's like fully out, and then I have to.
The tail is really cool.
Thank you. I was trying so hard. I was like, oh, I hope this looks okay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now it's just moving from frame to frame.
Yeah.
The tail could do the type of animation that's called animating on the path because it's a line. So you can have the line just point to point animation. But I'm not sure if you would even need it. It might just, because you've got so much movement, it might just be okay like this.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And we were doing for the Jim Crow Museum, we were doing animation where you take a line and move it. Are you familiar with how to do it?
I
You
am.
just set a tween.
Oh, it's just a tween.
But it's a
Okay.
motion tween instead of a classic tween.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I did that in one of Jess's classes forever ago. I know what you're what
Mhm.
thing you're referring to. But yeah, so I have pretty much the whole first set pose. I just have to do the final cape movement, move her little legs up, and create the big arrow behind her. And then I'm going to have to create the mid pose for this, and then her death pose. But so would you recommend me doing like the mid pose for the parry? Like I think it's that one character with like the tornado hair where it's just like that one shape.
It's
that
it's a smear. There is a or you can do it as a smear. Let me share my screen.
Okay, yeah,
And
absolutely.
there's an example in some files that I can give you.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
And you can also grab Henrietta hair because that file is there too.
Okay, cool.
Let me see. Let me just put it on this and then I think you're just seeing my main desktop, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so inside of 2D character design, there's a smear animation.
Okay.
And I haven't opened it up myself, but I can give you I need to share it or get the link, I think is what it is. And I'll put this in the chat for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. So that takes a little bit of a redrawing to do what's called a smear. If we, let's just open this up together. I'll download it, probably won't take that much time. And I'll do a new share to the this. Oh, it's really just sort of like I'm not sure if that's exactly what you want, Kaylin.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what you want. There's let's go find I can find you the file for the Henrietta hair
Okay.
piece. I think that might be better. Let me share this screen. And animate files. Well, these are your characters. So we have to go, and there's a section called old, and you can find everybody's from previous semesters inside of here, in case there's like one in particular that you think fits well for yours.
Mhm.
And I think I don't have them all. Where is? It might be an animation test. Yeah, here's the files. So Danielle Cowell. So here's the animate file. I'll give you the link.
Okay.
And put it in the chat. If I can find the chat, there it is. And but what we're talking about is this. It's actually, she doesn't use a smear. It's more of like, it turns into a shape and it kind of bounces around.
Yeah.
It's just taking a little bit of time to load it. See, it's a very, very simple animation. It's not a smear at all. What they would call a smear. Sometimes it's really just drawings that are like stretched and pulled, so squashing and stretching within it. So yeah. I'm not sure if that's helpful, but
No, it is. I'll have to look at that file and see what I can apply.
okay.
Thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Kind of a mess right now because I realized that I don't probably need these layers with the other bodies on them. Like,
oh, right. That's what I'm talking about. You have to bring the body into the other body assets, just like we just did with Nick's.
With the frame picker, right?
Well, it'll end up being a frame picker after the symbol has body 1, body 2, body 3 down the timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, do you want me to walk you through how to do it?
Sure.
Okay.
You know, reminder, I'll take it.
Yep. Okay. So go down the timeline and, well, first of all, click on, do you have it built as a symbol? Is the body a symbol at all yet? Can you hear me? Am I not hearing you guys now?
Nope.
Oh, I hear you now. Okay.
Okay, I think it just froze a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, I have the cape on its
Okay.
own.
Okay. Let me see your library. Can you open your library up? Good. And you have a cape. Can you click on the cape here in the symbol? You have it as a symbol, I see. So click on it inside your library.
Right way when I was doing it.
Okay, and double click on the picture part. Yeah. Okay, right. So just like we did with Nick's, you want to cut those other ones and put them into here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to your main timeline.
Okay.
And find the new assets.
So use the ones off this layer or?
Well, is it the cloud or the cape?
Well,
Oh, because you have it, because the cape turns into a cloud. Yeah.
right.
Okay, so grab this one. So click on that, but make sure you get it all by clicking on, I think it's cloud mid. Is that what you called it?
Yes.
Yeah. Click on the keyframe, not, oh, is it already a symbol? Or is that an object drawing?
It's a symbol.
Okay, go to your library. Let's just see it. Okay, you have them like that. Yeah, same thing. Like with Nick's, we want the, it's okay. We can keep them symbols, but you don't really need them to be symbols. What I want you to do is cut it from here. So go ahead and cut the frame. Control click, cut frame. Cut frame.
Okay.
Good. And now go into your library and find the cape. And double click into that. And go here and paste frame. There you go. Good.
Okay.
And you're going to do that with the cloud. So let's go get the cloud. And you should just be able to click on it here. Yep. And
Do the same thing.
yep, cut the frame. And go, you can double click into the cape here too. And then go here and paste frame. You're not on the right part of the keyframe. Oh, you are. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you just need to get, if you need the rotation points to all be at the top, that might be where you need it to be.
Right.
So if that's cape mid, well, you have it locked. That's why you can't move it. Don't worry about how it looks here. You're in the main timeline. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Take this rotation point and put it into the top. So Q is how you get it. Otherwise you're moving it. You need this. And put it on the top. That's where I would put it.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then you, after you do that for each of these, then let's go to the main timeline and get rid of all those other little drawings there. So scene.
So just delete
And
these.
then actually just delete these layers. So you've called it downpour. Yeah, you're just going to trash it and say yes. And you need a layer that's called cape. Do you have it already? You have this. So what are these keyframes that you've made here?
These were non-existent. Just me messing around.
You
trying
just
to
made a column. Yeah. Okay. So click on this first keyframe. Let's see what it is. Good. And then click on that keyframe, next one. Good. Click. Now you can click here on it and go to your frame picker, which you have. Oops, you clicked into it. Go back to scene and click on frame picker and pick your frame.
Okay, so I'll just have to kind of fix the alignments and stuff then.
Right. Now I want everybody to watch the rotation issue thing. So let me share, because I know that you're about to have some rotation issues. Go to, there's a whole video on it because everybody always has an issue with it. And I still have issues with rotations. So watch this animation or this video where she shows how they kind of break apart. You see that? So you want to, and actually it's happening here too. So I show them how to fix it, how to fix the rotation issue with the you have to have your rotation point at the same place from place to place. So it's something that you just have to watch for. I can put this in the chat for you. Okay. So that will help, because I can see that Kaylin, or Maggie, I'm sorry, you were having some potential rotation issues already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Did you work on Lizzy?
Yeah, we're opening it right now. I think
I didn't share my screen when I was let me just share it then, if I wasn't sharing my screen before, because I wasn't sharing this with you, right? I was just talking.
No, you were, yeah.
Okay, so you can see that the arm goes all over the place instead of being correct.
Right, okay.
So we walk through how to functionally put the rotation in the right spot in this part, because otherwise the hair, if you rotate it beyond 180, it will actually do this really weird flip. So you have to have a midpoint. You can't just take it from, actually you can't, yeah, the 180 sequence.
Okay.
This will explain that hopefully, and then we can troubleshoot later. But yeah, Kaylin, or Maggie, I'm sorry, let's see how your Lizzy turned out.
Is it this one? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. We'll go back. Ooh.
Some technical difficulties.
Lizzy would be like,
There we go.
I
Click into it.
I accidentally turned off the tires for whatever reason, but
well, they're not turned off. You just put them into let me annotate. Just click here, scrub those. You can see that they're in outline mode. They're called now. They're on. Mm-hmm. We do that in order to be able to see through things or something. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. But anyway, yeah, I just made her kind of like sink down and kind of be angry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, she's so frustrated. Yep, and with these wheels, then we would maybe tilt them like that so that she's crouching, like a crouch, like her feet would do it too. Yeah, I think that there are some angry eye eyebrows too, because her eyes don't move, but her eyebrows do for the, yeah, there. Oh, you already did it. Good.
Yep.
Yeah, cool. All right. It's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So that's just hopefully training you all to kind of work in the columns is what you should do. So yeah, any other questions for anybody?
No.
So.
All right. Keep it up. You can go work on your own, and you can come back in if you need any more questions answered. But it's kind of a technical thing right now, building more assets and putting them into the right symbols. And you have that file to analyze. So, all right, we'll see you. So what we're doing is we have a symbol that was all over the place on the stage, and we're trying to place them in the same place. So after you start placing all of these arms in the right place, it looks like you have one more, right? You're dragging it from the library and putting them in. Good. The next thing I want you to do is kind of scrub that timeline one more time. You can see it move. So now we want the rotation point to be up here every time. So now go to this keyframe and take it and move it up, but you'll need to, yeah, you'll need to find a way to connect them. And right now you're probably just using my drawing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Sometimes if we're not using Zoom, you won't have that little piece. So you just need to even make a crosshair where you'll always put that in the middle. Okay, so now when you scrub it, you can see it's moving from that spot. And so now if you go back out to your main timeline, and we would have it living on top. So let's say you have arm left, good. And this is, these are keyframes that, let's see, I want you to delete these for a second because it's living somewhere else. So clear the keyframes and now scrub back. And if we go to your properties and into, you need to click on it. And why don't you zoom in on this guy? Good, that's good enough. And go to frame picker, yep. And see, that's where you would put it on the timeline using the frame picker. So go further down the timeline, click right here. Yep, and insert a keyframe and go to the frame picker. Good, click on it and then choose the different arm. Is it the back arm that we did?
Yeah.
So that's what needs to happen for all of those assets. So right now you're building them kind of separately, but if you build them as a symbol and have them inside that symbol be able to be frame picked, that's the correct way to go, Chair. And when we say everything's on the main timeline, you already have that, like you have the arms on the main timeline. You just get to choose the pose with the frame picker. Okay.
All right.
Any questions or concerns as you build it?
Nope.
Okay. Good stuff. So you have drawings in other locations. You just need to kind of move them into it and watch that video on the rotation issues so that you have like a heads up for where that rotation point needs to be. Okay. Did we took a look at your Lizzy file, right?
We did
Good.
that first.
Okay, great. All right. Michaela or Susie, who would like to go next?
I can go.
All right, Michaela. So yeah, let's see what you did with your Lizzy file.
I didn't do a whole lot with it. I just kind of made her do a little.
Oh, she jumped. Yep, and she's got different attitudes. That's nice. Yeah. And go ahead and let's see, scrub it one more time. So you're doing kind of pose to pose. Yeah. Great. So you've got your timeline is set with, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. It's our next assignment, which is to block in the animation by setting columns. Okay, so that's what you've done. Good job. Okay, so let's see what you've done with Thykos.
I'm just working on the boot details that we talked about
Oh,
right now.
good. Yeah, that's gonna be nice.
I'm still like symboling everything out.
Okay, and you saw with Cherith's piece that we want to have the symbols not across the page, right? But
Yeah.
on top of the arms. So all the arms are on top of each other.
Yep.
So, okay. So you're still building your file right now?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Do you need any help technically right now, Michaela?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it'll stay that way. Hopefully everything stays pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm. I think that he's, when we look at him small, it feels like he still doesn't have enough contrast on the face. So
Okay.
unless you've made some alteration, but if, when we look at him on the main, on our slideshow and he goes tiny, it's hard to
Mhm.
see his face. So I recommend a higher contrast piece here. So let me share my screen for the you know, how everybody's looking together. So, and some of the other people have to do this too, but do you see when he goes down to small, it's hard to see his face. So just probably more highlight would
Okay.
work well. So that's my suggestion right now. Let me know if you have any issues as you keep going.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Susie, let's see how your file's coming along. That's looking nice, Susie. Okay, so you have columns built out. So let's see how, let's have you scrub. Why don't you, let me make some annotations here.
Oh, I haven't animated anything yet.
Oh, but you do have columns. What are these?
I'm just blocking them out right now to see what I'm gonna do.
Okay, so they're just the keyframes waiting for you then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So you saw the, you saw what we were doing with the files that I had in the beginning, like that cactus file and how they were all over the place. If you bring
Yeah.
and have all the arms on top of each other, you're going to be at a better place. Have you started doing any movements of what you're planning for your rig yet?
Not yet.
Mhm. So the key to it will be, like if this is rigged, he probably, like there won't be too, you're just going to start. Yeah, I don't think that you need to do too much in terms of too many squashing and stretching or redraws except for the tail. And if this stuff kind of moves around, you know, you could do like little hair movements or something, but mostly yours is a true puppet without very much kind of movement except for the tail, which I think we rigged for you the other day, right?
Yeah, and the
We
mouth
started.
too that's gonna have
Oh,
different
sure.
drawings.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. So that mouth, have you started it in your
Not yet. That's the plan for this week.
Okay, yeah. So mouth assets. And so when you go to Lizzy, let's have you go to the Lizzy rig. Let's analyze how that mouth is done. So, well, first let's have you scrub that. You did some animation. Good. You did squashing and stretching. Good. Very nice. So click into her mouth by double clicking and then scrub that timeline. That's where all the mouths live. So you make a symbol for the mouth, you call it mouths all, and then you make new keyframes for all the different expressions you want.
Okay.
And if you want phenomes, which we don't really need to have for game design, which are AE. And actually, what I've done with her is the mouth, if you click on this one, so go to the last keyframe, mouth, W, Q, and oo. That's, those are phenoms that are combined with an emotion. So oo, which can be like disgust, is combined in with some phenoms of W, Q, and oo. But most of these are emotion based. We have the O if you click on this O1. So you probably won't need for your Zalvroth too many except for angry. You might need like that kind of mouth. Actually, she has an angry that you could kind of pick from. So go to that angry. It's just always like more teeth on one side makes it feel angry, and your Zalvroth character can do that too. So yeah, let's go back to your Zalvoth character. There's not an R, right? So he's got quite a wide mouth with the teeth. So the teeth, do you have the teeth being a part of the mouth?
Oops. Yeah.
Yeah, so if
So
he
it's like-
opens his mouth, he would have them come down.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And I would even maybe consider having the nose be a part of his mouth for the movement. So maybe, I don't know if you've built this yet, but it would maybe be like all of this would be, even this is that beard part, all of that be a part of his mouth, because the beard would move as his chin moves.
That's not his beard, that's his neck.
Oh, that's his neck? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's this part, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that stuff's gone, but like up into here is what I would have be his mouth then.
Yeah. Do you think I would puppet the bottom jaw too? Or would I have to draw different assets for that?
Well, what I'm saying is that it's that beard part, which is the bottom jaw part, is all a part of what is the mouth. So you have that as your open, and then you have your closed mouth is another drawing. And it has kind of a shape like this. Yeah. Because it's sort of a three-dimensional asset where, and this is a good place to make the stitching because it's all the same color too.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my suggestion. Have you started it at all yet?
No.
Okay, so that's my suggestion to start it.
Okay.
Good. Okay, he's looking great. And why don't you zoom out one more time for us? Yeah, cool. You did the tail the other day, right?
Yeah, but I don't think I saved it though.
Oh, you didn't save it. Oh no.
No.
Okay. So for the tail, there would just be multiple drawings of the movement. So.
Okay.
Okay, let me know if you have any more questions, but did we already look at your Lizzy file? I think we did, right?
Yeah, we did.
You squashed and stretched it. So yours is a good example of squashing and stretching. All right, you three, you just continue to work towards progressing on it, and congrats on your progress so far. All right, so how's it coming along today?
That's going good. I've
Oh,
finished.
good. You're starting to move everything into its location, it looks like. Good.
The only
Oh,
pose I
yeah.
have left to do is this one.
Okay,
Then I
good.
get to reorganize the layers and make the chunks into symbols for these parts.
So the arm into a symbol, and yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So I know that previously you were drawing them over top of it, like in these poses, right? So the key to it is to take the sketch and move it underneath so that you have like the hips kind of in the same spot, and then you draw this new one here. Although this might not even move at all. So you really only need to think about drawing your new rigged pieces. Yeah, okay. Do you have anything in the library right now? for symbols?
Other than the base pose, no,
Okay.
I haven't organized because I have a symbol that she's nested in, but I want to make symbols within symbols just to have her other separate parts kind of be frame picked from.
Yeah, so you want, I would even maybe have the both arms on 2 different layers, right? So different parts of the arms, and then so that you could have that running, and the hand. So yeah. So I think you understand how to do that from what we're doing, and then you're right, you're gonna frame pick from it. So did you work on the Lizzy rig at all?
Yes.
Okay, let's see how she turned out.
So first one I just wanted to do sassy,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
little
so
pout.
sad. Yeah, laughing. Yeah, that's a fun one. Good. Whoa.
Kind of a little bit of, I tried to do fear,
I think, yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
and I had it like backing away on her tires a little bit.
Uh-huh. Ah,
Waving.
cute. Yeah.
And another little pouting face. But
It's
her
almost like she has to pee and no one wants to let
Yeah.
her go. Yeah. Uh-huh. Good. So right now you have the cab and the spinner all kind of static. The next phase would be to, because you've got your facial expressions, like let's go down this keyframe set. She might like back up, so you might you would shift click through all of it. And usually I have to bring this way up to be able to see it all. And hit Q, which is the rotation part.
Q.
And then rotate everything. Yeah. And then just pop her a little bit down. Yep, and that's good. And then now when you scrub between there, there's more action because she's moving her body. Well, scrub backwards. See? So that's how you can move these individual things, but you can also move the body parts. And if you wanted to, you could squash and stretch. These pieces are meant to be squashed and stretched. So that's another thing to play with. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff, Kelly. Good exploration. And it looks like you understand the frame picker if you're working with Lizzy in that way. Go ahead and go into the mouth. So go find the mouth all. Yeah. And click on it and double click into it by going up here and double clicking in it. This is how the mouth is built. So for yours, you have some things like the special effects might have this kind of a sequence. I'm not sure if your mouth does, most of the acting is really with the body for your character. But you might have some eye different clothes and stuff. So this is where there's different pieces of the keyframe. And that's because the freckles is a part of it. So if you scroll down a bit on this, scroll down.
Scroll down.
Yeah. Freckles and chin is a part of it. The chin for her is just a highlight, but it moves with all of the mouth expressions. So yeah, okay, good analysis there. Okay.
Good.
It looks like you're doing well. Do you have any questions technically moving forward with your piece?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
Let's see how symbols within symbols. Hopefully that doesn't get.
Well, you want to
Yes.
just, you have your main symbol of your character. Like Lizzy has an assembly symbol, but then you have, like she has mouths, and these are symbols within symbols too. And that's just to keep them consistent and to hold on to them and not get lost, that they're still in the library. keeping them in the library means that they won't get lost if they're not on your timeline.
Okay.
So that it holds your poses essentially. All right, so I don't know if I answered your question there on the symbols within symbols, but
You're good. Just
okay.
it'll take some. I think I'm good for now.
Mhm.
Questions, yeah.
Anything that we're going to animate, we want to not have be too much symbols within symbols. We want to be able to have it on the main timeline. That's why the mouth would be on the main timeline. It's not like within the cab. It's not like in the truck bed, or it's called the cab. It's not hidden. It's up on the main timeline. So, all right, Sarah, let's see where you're at.
All right.
Good job, Kelly.
Oops. Oh.
What's your character's name again?
Gourd.
Gourd. Good. Are they
Yeah.
all in one place or are they throughout the page right now? Oh, good. Good job.
Yeah, I'm just copy and pasting the, I haven't been drawing on top of,
Mhm.
I think it would have been easier had I done that, but
Some students move the drawing underneath so that you can just always see it underneath it.
yeah,
That's another
I'm
idea.
starting to regret how many assets he has, but because it's making my, just like how detailed he is,
Mm-hmm.
making my,
Oh, he's dead.
ran into an issue. I realized like the backpack had to be on top of him, so I had to go up and like make extra, like, you know, layers.
Well, on top sometimes when he dies, right? And below on the layers when he's alive, right? So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we did that right. Good. Oh, nice. Great.
That's a frame picker within the symbol.
Okay.
Plays
Yeah,
the
let's see that. Go ahead and click that. Let me see what you did with that.
Oops.
Nice. Good. Yeah, just a little redraw on it. And did you do envelope warp? Is that your process? Or just redraw it?
I just used the free transform tool
Mm-hmm.
and just,
Oh, that was enough for you to do it. Sure. Because
yeah.
it's kind of squashing. Good.
So is that?
Yep. And you have, go back to that because you also have an off state, which is good for people to see because I'm recording this. Go back to your war cry. So number 9 in the frame picker is off, which you want to have for special effects too. Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
It took a second to figure that one out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm
Nice.
working on this one right now. I have to do like an in-between here, and then he'll go down for the slash down here.
Now
so-
you have some special effects with the movement of the axe, it looks like, where there's wind movements. So those are some more things to do. And yeah, it looks like it's going really great so far.
It's a lot to think about, animation.
You're getting it. You're getting it.
And then this is what I did I didn't spend too much time on.
Aw,
But
made her so sad at the end. Nice. Yeah, so you're moving the body also. So good. So not just expressions. Yeah, because there she goes. Nice. And that's just shift clicking through and moving the whole thing.
Yeah, I did tweens on the
Nice. Good. And if we were to move the whole thing, you would just take the whole asset and move it across the stage. And what we do is we just kind of wiggle the wheels up and down to make them look like they're spinning because they're in this weird asymmetrical, or not asymmetrical, but the perspective is, I'm drawing a complete blank. I think I've not been sleeping enough, but
that's okay.
the perspective is like that perspective where there isn't perspective. It's just completely.
Is it what? Oh God, what is that called?
I know.
It just looked like ovals. I don't know.
Well, you know how there's game designs where things never go back in space? Everything's the same size.
It's not in wide perspective, is it?
Isometric perspective. That's what it is. Yeah. So anyways, good job. I think you got a sense of how to use a frame picker from doing that, and liking what you did. So you all will just continue to work on your files towards the animation test. What is your frame rates, both of you? Are you set to 24?
Yeah, I think I'm at 24. Yep.
What are you at, Kelly? Good.
24.
Because when I made the Lizzy file, it's set to 30, and we really should use 24. It's going to be better for everybody. So yeah, so it's okay if Lizzy is. That's just a little test. Okay, have a good rest of your day and keep working, and email me if you have any technical questions or anything. Okay. Were you able to get into all your classes? Okay.
For that.
If you were, yeah. So we're talking about parenting. If you were in the class with Jessica, she used it, right?
It was with Keith.
With Keith. But what Bill and I have found is that it doesn't function when you pass the files back and forth together.
Oh,
So
okay.
we're requesting that you don't do the parenting and just keep them on the main timeline like we have it in the Lizzy file.
Okay.
So because it does function just as well. And basically it's when you make it into a movie clip that doesn't, and you pass files, that they break, that the eye will end up over there. That's what Bill has found.
Is the assembly symbol, is that a movie clip or a graphic?
It could be either, but I make mine into a graphic. So
Okay.
if you can go over to the Lizzy file and you'll see it. It's down here somewhere, Lizzy assembly. Yeah, Lizzy, it doesn't have an underscore, that's why. So it's a graphic.
Okay.
All right, let's see how you did an animation, right? Is it on the main timeline? Or
Yeah,
is it
it's on
inside here? Okay, so let's see what you did.
Oh, wait.
Aw. Cute. Oh, she's so angry and sad.
Yeah, I was
Runs
mainly
the
doing like
runs the
emotions.
gamut of the emotions. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing that you can do with her is you're kind of just changing her eye expressions and stuff, but you can take the whole of her and kind of tilt her with different movements by shift clicking through all of the keyframes and rotating on the axis essentially, and also making her jump and stuff. So that's one thing that you didn't explore, but you can take the whole thing and make it move back and forth and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Nice exploration. And it looks like you got the frame picker if you did that, Kaylee. So good job. Okay. So, oh, yep. So she's moving. So nice. Yeah, it's good.
So I was having a lot of problems just animating this. And so I went back to my actual file and tried to like set things up the way you did. And I started with the mouth, but as you see, like as I was putting them in, now it just looks like he's like talking really fast.
That's okay. It's because if you don't want it to move, you're gonna, so go ahead and go to, let me get the annotator out. Go to the frame picker. And this is set to loop right now, and you really want it to set to single frame.
Okay.
That's how he won't talk.
And so I did what you told me to do last time, and I originally had like Finley as his own character, and then you would click into him, and then all of these showed up, and I brought them all out to the main.
Yeah, good. And it's just in a folder with
So
all
now-
of these other, okay.
Yeah, so now am I gonna like take all the individual pieces and put them back and like make each thing a symbol and then put all of them into it, if that makes sense.
Okay, so you've got your Finley mouth and you've got
Yeah.
him open and closed mouth, right?
Yeah, but like
That should be a symbol, and then inside the symbol there's 2 keyframes.
okay, so the mouth should be a symbol and then I put all of his
Which you
little
have, it looks like.
in there. Okay.
And
I
then,
don't know if I was doing it right or not.
well, let's check it. So here's your mouth layer. Click on it right there. Okay, good. And to me, it looks like it's a symbol. Go ahead and click on it using your black arrow tool. Hit V. And there's your 2 keyframes. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see more keyframe spacing. Your mountains, not the screen, but I'm up here. Just, yeah, just a little bit, yeah. Okay, so we're inside of a symbol that's called mouth. You also, if you go to your, move your frame picker out of the way a little bit, move it over here. Move it, yeah, good. And so you have somewhere in here is mouth. So scroll down in your library to mouth. There it was, yeah. And so if you double click on the picture part, not the word, right? Then we'll see just the mouth, and so that's a symbol. You're good there, and that's the movement. Scrub it. Scrub your timeline to go over, open, closed. Good. So now go back to the main timeline. So I'm just analyzing your file, and good. And that's using the frame picker. If you wanted to keep the mouth something, this is where we shift click through these keyframes. Usually I make my things smaller so that I can see all of my layers up here by grabbing this and bringing it down.
So the ones that I did before of like all the different mouths, I need to move back into that symbol.
Yes. So if you have more mouths, even the ones that are turned, when he's turned, you want to have that in that mouth symbol.
Okay.
Because so you can go to the Lizzy file to check that out. So go into Lizzy and click on Lizzy's mouth and scrub that timeline. You'll see that that's the way that that's set up. So you want Finley's mouth to be all like this.
Okay.
Finley's probably a lot more like Lizzy than some of the other characters because there's no feet.
Yeah.
I've got wheels, but yeah, it's essentially a fish shape. So yeah. Okay, so let's go back to Finley. So you have more mouths. Where are they? They're down here.
Yeah, they're like at the end of the timeline.
Okay, so what you want to do is all these keyframes, you can shift click through them. Just these keyframes. So you're going to click on that mouth keyframe, click that, and then shift click to the very last one.
I tried to just copy and paste
No,
them.
it's not copy and paste. It's cut frames.
Okay.
And don't worry, they're gone, but you'll find them again by double clicking into the mouth layer. Double click. Now go to here and paste frames. Oh, because you have it. So go back. You have to undo. Make sure you undo. Okay, there they are. So tell me about, you have mouth. Is there other symbols that you're calling mouth?
No, I think it's just that this one's the same symbol.
Okay, so we need the one that's not, so you might know the file better. Yeah, so just shift click through all of those other ones. And now cut those. And paste them. Paste frames. Good, now you have it.
No, but they're not there.
They're not there. Why is that?
Why I'm having a problem last time too. I had to like do one at a time or it doesn't work. For some reason.
Oh, did you do it? So Command Z until you go get them all.
I got them all back.
Okay, so so it works if you do them one at a time.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because we're going over this stuff. If
Well,
you
I
go-
didn't last time. I just copied these ones.
Okay. Yeah, you can copy frames too, but just as long as you're not cutting or copying, it has to be cut or copy frames.
Okay.
So, so it sounds like you're going to be able to get that. Is that right?
Yeah, I should be able to if
Okay.
I email you or something.
Yeah. So just kind of set it up the way that Lizzy is. In
Okay.
That. Okay. So that's gonna make everything kind of be all over the place. It's just about trying to get them in the right spot in the rigging. So
Yeah.
you've drawn them the way you need to, but they're not kind of lined up.
Mhm.
So place them where they need to be, and then watch your rotation points too. Did you see that video that I showed you guys?
Yeah,
Might
I
need to
watched
watch
that.
Okay. Was there sound in that video? I was having issues listening.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, okay. It might just have been my headphones or something. Okay, good. All right, so let me know if you have any issues with it.
Okay.
Okay, Kaylee, do you have any thoughts for Amber as she continues on?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right, let's see where you're at. So what do we have to have done for next class? If I go into our calendar, it really, I think, is just working towards completion. There's not, so it's just a work day. I would recommend for you to have your columns built and to have, a lot of people still have to get everything kind of lined up and in a symbol. That's what I would recommend for next class. I don't have like a true check-in because we're just in the middle of making, everybody's kind of at their own pace right now. The final character rig file in Animate is due on the 2nd. That's when our animation needs to be completed. And then, so that's the 2nd of December with the page layout due on the 9th. So you have a week to kind of lay out your page and get your the names, because remember we have like the names of the throws and things like that done in terms of graphic design in the animation test as well. So so you're going to kind of create like a title page and words like idle and sunburst and your character name and who the character is and stuff.
Okay.
So, yep. So right now we are just really in a work cycle. So try to just move forward. Okay, email me if you have questions.